Hello, everyone. This is our weekly Subspace desktop meeting, and we will be doing our usual routine. I'm gonna share the screen. And today, let's start with pull requests. We have two big ones. One of them is related to Mnemonic. I'm gonna elaborate on this more, but let's start with this one. So some of our users experienced when telemetry server is congested, they were not able to retrieve the blockchain size, or when they restarted the application, they were um, forever stuck on the connecting screen. The main issue on that was, as I said, the congestion on the network. So we increased the server amount, the server capacity, but also in the Subspace desktop side, we were not handling these requests, network requests to the public RPC server efficiently. So this pull request is about two things. One of them is making these requests efficiently, like we were opening the connection but not closing them when we are done with the request. This is fixing that. And also, we were not doing any error handling based on the response. We were assuming the server will always be available and respond to us in a expected way. And now, if server doesn't respond for a timeout or responds in a like you give a bad response, we are handling that, and so that the desktop application is not stuck on some state forever. This is an open PR. It's not merged yet. It's waiting for Leo's review. Any questions about this? Yeah.
Can we? Is it a requirement for Leo to review that, or can we have somebody else review it on the team, like Serge or Nazar?
Nazar reviewed it, but he said there are some things on the front end as well. So Leo should review it for the last reviewer, since he designed some of this connection stuff, and he will be doing a rework on that. So if some of the rework can be done immediately, he should do that, or else we should wait for his big PR about this. So yeah, Leo has the last saying in this.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about that more later.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The second thing is Mnemonic Workflow. So first, I need to explain the problem in here. Assume this. The user opens the desktop application, proceeds with the happy path, clicks quick start, and then selects a directory, starts plotting. And in plotting screen, we had a button for next, and when click next, it was displaying hints, then mnemonic. Here is the problem. If the user doesn't click on next for showing the intro, showing the hints or mnemonic, and close the app for whatever reason, like God knows why, maybe computer crashed, I don't know. And when he reopens the application, since he started plotting, the app will start from the dashboard. So user will have no way to display the mnemonic. So this is a big problem in my opinion. So I fixed it, and I can explain the details, but I will do a demo in the end for both Multireplica and this one. So we will be able to see how it's fixed. Should I explain it now verbally, or should I save it for the demo?
Let's save it for the demo.
Okay. So these are the open PRs. Both of them are done in code implementation. Again, this is heavily on the front end, so that's why it's waiting for Leo's approval. Nazar already reviewed it. Nazar has one suggestion, but I will again explain it on demo. I will implement that challenge suggestion. On the closed PRs, it's starting from here. This was a Readme update, for the users using the CLI application. And if they want to migrate to desktop application, we have instructions for them now. We can skip this because this was a hacky solution. This is the real fix for icons. On Ubuntu or Linux generally, after 0.3, I believe, after version 0.3, we had a icon problem. It was crashing on Ubuntu when the app is started. The reason is the tool we are using for icon generation was a bit, how to say it, not handling all the cases. So we had to fix the tray icon for Linux manually, and we did it. So it's a fix, but nothing too much going on there. Again, one of our users pointed out that we still have, as the fourth step on the README, let me dive into this. Fifth step, sorry. Provide a password and click continue. But we removed the password page, but did not update the README. One of our users pointed out, like, I don't know what to do in this step because there is no password and stuff. So this is just removing that very small PR. Let me go back. Sorry. All right. This is an important one on the user experience, I believe, not on the backend, but another one of our users said that I want to be able to see my reward address, and I don't want to wait for a block to be farmed. So we are introducing reward address section in here. It was not there previously. This is a PR for that. And last but not least, this is the heavy backend change. It's the reason of we are upgraded to version 0.4. It's adding the feature for partial replica. Yeah, basically that. We already demoed that in the last meeting. So this feature was introduced, but the merge of the PR was late. That's why we are seeing it as a merged PR this week. So these are for the PRs. Any questions?
Yeah, just a note on that, the partial replica, we want to make sure that we test that on Linux and Windows before we announce that to the users.
Yeah, Leo did. So probably we want to hand this out to team and ambassadors so they can test it, and then we will make a real release.
Yeah, and when you say test, you mean you build it locally and test it, or is it built in GitHub and you download the DMG and test it?
I don't know which one Leo performed.
Well, when you test it, which one are you doing?
I tested, I believe, both for Mac. Like both downloaded the release and also to be it locally.
Okay.
But to be sure, I can redo it again. Okay, for the new issues, starting from here, this one is submitted by Justin. So he won a block 5 hours ago, but until he restarted the application, it just said it was 0 seconds ago. So this has to be asynchronously updated. Very small bug, but it's a bug, so we have to fix it. Multi-replica feature, it's nearly done. Right now, I had made most of the changes. Today, we are debugging that with Ivan and Nazar. And I believe we are at the very last step. So after debugging the last bug, it will be ready for testing. By the way, we planned to do changes only on the backend, but I couldn't help myself, and we are also having the front-end changes as well with this. So I'm gonna show it on the demo. This is for, so let's say you install the application for the previous version and then you uninstalled it and you want to install a new version, but you want to preserve your plot, of course. Right now, we don't have support for that. Previously, we had, because we were creating an external config file, and then we could handle this version upgrade. But now, after Nazar's suggestion, we removed that external config file, and we are storing the config in the application itself. That's why when you delete the application, when you uninstall the application, that configuration also lost. But we found another way, and the fix will be introduced in Leo's big PR. What I refer to Leo's big PR is he's handling a big revision for the front end, and this will be handled as well in there. This handle farmer exit gracefully. So this is a bug occurred on Windows. So previously, before Ivan's fix on the slow sync on Windows, we were having a really slow sync process on Windows, and that slow sync was causing farmer to quit the subscription to the node. I don't think this will be the case, but still we have to fix it. Like in case it happens again, the farmer needs to be either send the information or like restart itself. But I don't think this issue ever occurred on Ubuntu or Mac, and it's due to really slow node. Okay, this is what I explained already, so I'm not going to explain it again. But because of the fix on that, we were able to solve this as well. So as a solution, I separated Mnemonic from the hints introduction model. So Mnemonic has its own model, and hints has its own model. So we are able to reshow hints as many times as the user like. This was submitted by, this was requested by Skyler, one of our team members, and I think we got it. And the closed, before that, any questions on the open issues?
Can you show that in the board view so I can get a better idea of the priority for these?
By the way, I made this board into public. It was private before. So which view you prefer, priority status?
I guess I thought there was a Kanban somewhere. The status, is that, maybe that's the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Okay. Okay, can you go through again why all those are blocked? Is that because of Leo's big PR?
No, connect Mnemonic into wallet. We do not have a specific plan for wallet integration. We discussed it, but we didn't arrive at a.
Oh, okay. Okay, I misunderstood the purpose of that ticket. That one makes sense.
Okay. Reopenable hints. This is in progress. I can move it. This is blocked because I will test it after multi-replica is finished. Then because farmer is changing in the multi-replica, farmer backend is changing. After that, I can inspect this and fix it if the problem persists.
Okay. Do you have that noted in the ticket, like blocked by?
Sorry?
Do you have that noted in the ticket, like blocked by with the issue link?
Usually I do, but I forgot to add that for here. Like we have a blocked view and we are adding reasons in here.
Okay, that's just a good practice to do that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, to do. So sorry, just stay at the top for a sec. What is your next priority on the to-do?
This is actually not finished. It's in progress, so my first priority in this. But in here, since I was dealing with mnemonic and models, I am now able to finish this. I couldn't do it when I tried now, but now I should be able to do it. Other than that, I prefer this view because for the high and me, yeah, so high ones are filled. So after fixing this, I can handle that, and then I will proceed into medium priority ones.
Okay. What about the Windows issue? I guess there's really nothing to do on the desktop side. That you just have to capture the latest snapshot that fixes that once Yvonne has that merged in.
Yeah.
No, which Windows issue is this? Because if it's the slow sync, Yvonne hasn't been able to fix it yet. We thought it was an issue with the JSON RPC implementation for
Yeah.
Windows, so he submitted a PR upstream, but it still didn't fix it. So I think he wants to finish multi-replica farming, then go back to looking at that. Is that the same issue?
Yes, it's the same issue.
Yeah. It's not fixed yet, and he's probably going to have to look at it a bit further. But he needs to land. Well, he wants to land multi-replica, tidy that up, then come back to debugging.
So the idea that he had yesterday was not correct, or the intuition he had about how to fix that problem.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Sam. Okay. Any other questions for Leo? Or sorry, for Özkan?
Then
before we go into the demo, or you got some more you want to cover, Özkan?
Closed issues lastly, and then we can go into demo. So this one was fixed by the fix icon, and this one for displaying the reward address. Implementing partial replica is merged. I closed this one. We made no progress on that, but since multi-replica will be introduced, plot may exceed available disk space, and it's not a problem anymore. So previously, when we were plotting for the exact amount of space for blockchain size, because this issue opened like 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that. Before partial replica.
Okay, so partial replica fixes this, isn't it?
Yeah. Because in partial replica, you specify your plot size and it will not change. Before partial replica, we were plotting all the things in the blockchain, and since blockchain grows, it may go beyond that disk space. But it's no longer the case. So it's solved on its own without anything. It's just partial replica and multi-replica fixes that.
Makes sense. But, well, I guess plot might not exceed available disk space, but the archival history might until we have that pulled out.
Yes, exactly. And we talked with Nazar. He said, for now, at least for now, allocate 20 gigabytes to archival mode, and we should update it when it's necessary.
Yeah.
This is again estimating plot size. Oh, this was sorry. Okay. Yeah. Since we fixed the servers, it's not stuck anymore. But there is more to do on this issue. This is a duplicate issue. The duplicate one is app is not responding for server queries. It is fixed originally on the server side, but as I said, the PR for Subspace desktop, like handling more efficient requests and handling the errors, is on review. So when this PR merges, the duplicate of this issue will also be solved. Okay, that's all for the issues. I can proceed to demo. While we are waiting on that, let me clear my custom data for the last run.
Yeah, I got a quick question, Özkan. When you say uninstall on Mac, what do you mean by that?
Usually, uninstall process on Mac is going to Finder, going to Applications, and drag drop the application you want to delete in trash can. That's what I mean.
Right. Does that delete the plot?
No.
So is it really uninstalled in that case?
For custom user data, it's not uninstalled, but that's the case for nearly all the applications. Like if you generate some data with some application, or if it's storing your configuration, usually they don't delete it. The best practice I've seen on that is popping up another prompt, and then like you want to erase your custom data or not regarding this application. Other than you have to do garbage collecting yourself when uninstalling apps, and that's mostly the case, unfortunately.
Do you think that's a good user experience do you think non-technical people will be able to go figure out where their plot is and delete it manually?
Of course not. Of course not. Like, but we shouldn't delete the plot automatically. The best practice, like as I said, probably we should ask something like, you are uninstalling the app, you want to keep your plot or not, and then we can delete or not.
So just by dragging it into the trash can, you can trigger an event to pop up a modal?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd have to do it from within the app. There needs to be
Yeah.
an uninstall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just we're starting to have so many people download this app. We need to start thinking about having a clean uninstall, and also like people might be creating multiple plots without realizing it, like every time, like if they change the location.
Exactly. That's a good point.
I might want to just create a ticket just as a placeholder for that.
Let me do so. Okay.
Because it's one thing if you're upgrading and then you delete it and you want to retain your plot, but if you are just ready to be done with it, or need to free up space on your machine, it's not really obvious how to do that for most people.
True. So as the first thing, let's look at the multi-replica changes on the front end, because it will be seen first, and then I will explain the mnemonic solution. So I'm going over the happy path here, and now I made a separate field. I made it colored. Both of them are colored to not get confused with each other. So this one, allocated one, is configurable. But space required for node is read-only, so users cannot change it. And we are forcing the user to not allocate all the free space and at least allocate 20 gigabyte to the node. This 20 gigabyte will not be occupied directly, but we are not letting them to have a plot bigger than this in this case. That's the idea.
Why do we need to expose that space required for node to the user in the dropdown if it's not, or I mean in the form?
We don't. I thought.
There's never going to be any intent to make that configurable, right?
Yes.
What was your idea there, just to make the user aware that part of their space is being dedicated to the node?
Because I had no other good solutions. One of the solutions was not letting the user allocate like this free space, available space minus 20, and then this slider like think it like that. The orange thing will be gone. It will be empty, and this will not go beyond that. And users may think there is a bug. It doesn't let me allocate the full free space. And also, I didn't want to increase the utilized by adding 20 to it, because it's not actually occupied at the moment. And that's why the best solution comes to my mind was this.
It just seems like it's unnecessary information that's just going to confuse the user.
Might be true.
Why not just, or go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, we can just start with 20 in the allocated space, 20 and beyond,
But then they think they allocated 20 gigabyte for plot, but it's not the case.
Why not just subtract 20 from the available?
I also thought that, but it will also think it will also make the user think that the application is buggy because they can see their disk space. Like here, when I click here and about this Mac, and I go to storage, it will calculate, and this much space is actually available.
Is
And
that
if
your
you are
assumption,
saying-
or is somebody? I mean, I think maybe, but I guess I wouldn't worry about that until like somebody complains about it.
Okay.
I think it's like you're trying to present the problem to the user versus like hide the problem from the user.
Okay.
And you know what I mean?
Is it
I think you'll
fine?
probably get more questions about the 20 than like, why is it 20 off from what's on my home screen?
Another question then, like, okay, we can hide this and we can hide this under available. And as you can see, when I hover this, there is an extra explanation tooltip coming out. Should I include that, like we are showing 20 GB less than the available because Node requires that, or
I wouldn't really go into that. I mean, because that's even going to get removed. That's just like an artifact of the fact that we're still running an archival node that's going to disappear. It's going to be like 1 GB, you know, or less, like 100 megabytes in the near future.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that and get rid of this. But as you can see, we are able to select this, and it will farm normally when I fix the last bug. It's not being fixed yet. Here is the mnemonic part. Like now, when you click here, it's gonna prompt us about creating a new directory. And if I say create, then the mnemonic will be shown here. The reason for that is when I inspected other crypto applications, mostly wallets, they are not exposing the main functionality of the application without first introducing the mnemonic to the user. So our main functionality here is the plotting, and I think we shouldn't start plotting unless user confirms on whether he or she copied the mnemonic. And when they click next, then plotting starts. And here, hints are here. They can view it. They can view it again. They can view it again, as much as they want.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. This has multi-replica support now, right? This
Yes.
version you're showing? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you're shaking your head, Sam? No, okay. So when it does the multi-replica plotting, let's say that we have 10 actual plots, like we're plotting 10 times larger than the blockchain space, for example, or we have 10 times more than the blockchain space available, or the max plot size available. Does it retrieve a segment and then plot all of those segments in parallel?
Yeah,
like in a non-blocking way?
I asked that to Ivan today. Like when archiving starts, all the plots are progressing in sync, so synchronously. And that's why I'm thinking of showing the progress of the first plot in here, because it will be reflective about, representative about other plots as well.
Okay. So it is plotting all of them in parallel.
Yeah.
In a non-blocking way. Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I mean, there's always the chance that if you have like one plot, which is not full, like one partial plot, you just like, I don't know how the algorithm works. Like if that's the first or the last, or it's a random one, that's the partial plot. You just want to make sure that's not the one that you're capturing the, you know, that you're using as the estimate, because then that would be inaccurate.
Yeah. The last one, by the way, is the
partial plot.
Remainder, yeah, partial one,
Yeah.
the remainder one, yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. Okay. It's taking a lot of Fitch network data. What that's the retrieving the blockchain? No, what is that?
No, it actually retrieves the blockchain. Okay, there is a thing that needs to be upgraded for the runtime of the Subspace monorepo. And that's why I exported a local change spec. So this is actually my development environment. This is not the usual farmnet or testnet. And for some reason, I'm unable to farm blocks in here. It's just like stuck here. So that's the last bug we need to fix, and then it will be ready for, like, I will test it with the public setting when we update the Monorepo runtime, and then it will be able to be tested by the community.
What needs to be updated in the Monorepo? Max plot size?
Node, yeah, max plot size is not introduced in the runtime, so the node tries to cure in max plot size, but it's not there, so it crashes.
Is that part of what Sam is going to be deploying with the forklift runtime upgrade? Or sorry, Ved is going to be deploying with the forklift
I
runtime
think
upgrade,
it's
Sam?
related, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
And so you've got like kind of like a local hack to make that work, but it's not actually farming when you do that.
Yeah, that's the case at the moment.
Okay, so it's not really tested. So plotting works, we just can't test the multi-replica farming implementation.
I'm like using nearly the same code with the Monorepo on the farmer. And when we build the latest Monorepo node and farmer, they are producing blocks in the local test environment. So I believe there is nothing will be changed in the farmer side. So I think that backend is covered. I think the problem may be related to node settings. We are setting the node, setting the node configuration manually in here, and maybe some parameters need to be changed for testing locally.
Okay. Have you tried syncing with Nazar on that?
Yeah, we have a thread in engineering chat opened. We are discussing it.
Okay. Okay, anything else, Özkan, on the demo? You finished there?
Oh, that's all from me.
Okay, great. So you showed us multi-replica farming, the correct reward address, or not, I guess
Yeah.
the ability to forcing them to see the reward address, and Mnemonic. So what is, you said there was still something in progress for multi-replica farming. So does that mean you had like the version 1 that you just showed us and you still need to roll in version 2 that Yvonne has been working on?
No. For this multi-replica, I'm using the revision of Nazar's take 2 on Ivan's PR. So Nazar had a take 2 on Ivan's PR, and we merged it into main. I'm using that. So I'm actually using the main of Monorepo. Was that your question?
So it's in progress just because you haven't, the PR hasn't been merged yet?
No. PR is being merged, but for multi-replica, there is no PR open for the Subspace desktop.
Okay, I guess I thought when you were at the board that multi-replica was showing up still in progress.
Yes, it was in progress because I'm developing the code, but it's not in PR. So in progress does not mean in review.
Okay. So all that still needs to be submitted for review.
Exactly, yeah.
But the code is done.
I think so. Like, we have to fix the last bug, but I think it's done.
Okay. Okay. Great. So we should be at a stopping point for the backend then for the audit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Any questions or comments for Özkan? Nope, just happy to be here. Okay. All right. Well, great work, Özkan. It's really coming along. It feels like we're almost there.
Thank you. So that's it for this week. See you, folks.
Everybody.